The final livery of the day, still 3 more to go after today, but today our final livery was here. New team. Racing Point is going to enter the sport fully this year. They did half of last season taking over Force India, but now, this year, they're called, and apologies for this, Sport Pacer Racing Point Formula 1 team. I believe is their full title this year. BWT are still on board, but the big question going into this launch was, were they going to remain pink? We saw the drivers come out first with these fancy looking overalls, with the top half being pink, the bottom half being black. Starting to question, are we going to see a bit of a mix-up from the team this year? And as you can see, the unveiling started to happen, and oh, is that pink again? It looks like we've got a pink car again, boys and girls. Okie dokie. I'm fine with that. Let's see. Let's double check. Oh, yes. Most of it is pink. They made them stop here and take a few little pictures and whatever. And you're thinking, oh, hang on a second. Is that a bit of blue? Is that a bit of blue at the back of the car there? What's that all about then? What is that all about? Because at the moment, it started to look like, and this was my thoughts, I was thinking, oh, it's another one of these ones where it's the same as last year. How boring. But no. We didn't have the same as last year. We have last year's car with a big blue splodge on the back, which probably sounds a bit harsh. But I have, of all the liveries we have seen, this is the one I just don't know how to feel about. I really don't, because although I didn't dislike last year's Force India, I didn't love it. And I felt some of the white boxes that they had on the front of the car was a little bit scruffy, a little bit tacky. So, the front half of the car, the area that last year I had an issue with, seems to be exactly the same. The nose all the way down to the front wing, which the front wing's got a tiny little difference. It's got the Sport Pacer blue on the final bit of the front wing. As you can tell, my aerodynamic analysis is not the best, it's not the highest of standards, but so the front half is the same as last year, which is fine. It's not winning any awards. It's probably a 4 out of 10. I don't really feel all that impartial about it. I don't love it, I don't really hate it. It's middle of the road sort of stuff, the front of the car. But the back of the car, which I really liked last year, I really don't know how to feel. It's not the cleanest. I mean, you can see the border at the very top of the car, the shark fin, if you will, is very similar. And then it curves off at the end. That curve, I don't really know too much how I feel about that. Although, what I will say, and I've said it all week with all the liveries, these are on the 2018 cars, mostly. So some of these designs will look a little bit more clean, a little bit more polished on the final thing. But I really love that deep blue, that royal blue. I think that is beautiful. I really do. And part of me thinks I would prefer this livery if more of it was blue. If maybe it was 50-50. I think I'd prefer it a little bit more then. But at the moment, it's almost as if, oh, we'll give you a little splash of it. Not too much. It reminds me of the Haas livery, where it's almost as if they've sort of had to hold themselves back a little bit. And the Williams as well, it's very similar to the Williams, where they thought, oh, we don't want to go too crazy. We don't want to just throw in loads of white. We'll do a little bit, and then maybe next year we'll evolve it a little bit. So that's how I'm feeling with this car. The halo, I think, looks a little bit strange. However, with the T-cam, the onboard cameras we'll see over the season, I think that'll actually work quite nicely, although I imagine it'll be a bit of a pain for new fans seeing the pink car on the track, and then from the T-cam it's going to look like a blue car. So that might be a little bit strange to get used to. Here's the front wing, which I actually prefer that pink that's on the car this year compared to last year's. I think it's a little bit more of a first time round Force India pink that we had, which I preferred just that little bit. But really don't know how to feel about this one. These are the sort of rendered 3D versions of the car, which looks like on this one there's even more white than you really get to see in real life, which again, we've said all week that there's been these dark, dingy rooms, and then when we've seen these 3D images of the car, it just looks like a completely different beast altogether. And in this particular picture, I actually prefer the Sport Pacer bit at the back. I just think, just the little nozzle and T-can just above the driver's heads, I really wish that was in the royal blue as well. I think that would have looked a little bit more smarter, a little bit more clean and polished. But overall, I like it. It's not going to win any awards. It's not my favourite. It's my least favourite out of the 3 liveries that we have seen so far today, but it's not the worst of the season so far. You know, it's a middle-of-the-road sort of livery, and I'd love to know your thoughts on this one, because I'm sure there's people out there that really love this one. Watching the live stream, there were loads of people saying this was a beautiful-looking car. Others saying not so much. So it's a real divisive one, but for a first time round for Racing Point, designing their first proper livery, it's not an awful attempt. It's just not a brilliant attempt, and for me, it's not going to be my favourite of 2019, that's for sure. But I'd love to know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Tomorrow we've got McLaren, Friday Ferrari, and then Monday the final launch, Alfa Romeo. Thanks guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.